So welcome to MeetMobility on the 17th of February 2010, live from the Intel booth in Hall 7 at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. MeetMobility is a network of mobile computing blogs and websites that get together every 2 weeks to do podcasts, to discuss netbooks, mobile computing, MIDs, mobile technology, software and everything related to that. My name's Steve Paine, I'm from UMPCPortal.com, and we've got a big lineup today. So I'm going to try and remember all these names. But let's start from the left. We've got Monty Metzger here. Hi, Monty.
Hi.
Monty is from Ahead of Time, and you're responsible for the Mocom 2020 think tank. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Give us 30 seconds on that.
Yeah, we created a think tank, an open think tank, as a crowdsourced research project to create a vision for the next 10 years of mobile media. And we actually launched it last year at the Mobile World Congress, and since then we have published a video which you'll find on YouTube, for example, when you're looking for Mocom 2020, as well as a book and a community, and I'm now just in talks about a next stage to update the vision and to get probably new topics in.
Great. Well, we'll bring you in a bit later in the podcast because that sounds interesting. That's going to fit in with one of the topics I've got down here. Then we have Hubert Nguyuen from the fantastic Ubergizmo website.
Hi, yeah,
which is all about Uber.
Ubergizmo is about sharing the gadget love.
Right.
So everything that we do, the end goal is to share the gadget love. And we blog daily on consumer electronics, and that includes netbooks and phones and things like that.
Great. So I'm going to be asking you what your top thoughts about MWC products are this year. And before I introduce Sascha, who everyone knows anyway, here's Matthäus Krzykowski. Did I get that right? I've been practicing that 5 times already.
Very well done.
And tell us what you're doing and where you're from.
I'm from VentureBeat. I do my mobile stuff, and I organize a conference called MobileBeat in San Francisco. And I've got my own little startup called Agora 9, where we help developers we help large organizations like carriers, device makers with developers.
Right, so before we get into it, big thank you to Intel for putting us up here on the, or putting up with us here on the stand,
and for the drinks.
For those that are listening live on the stream, we've actually got Estrella Dam. I don't know if this is beer or some sort of juice or.
It says 6 on speed. I'm not sure if we can drink this.
It looks dangerous. I'm going to take it. Let's just take a quick.
Let's give it a try. Cheers, guys. Good to see you here.
Podcast 43.
It's definitely a beer.
All right, let's get right into it. I want to talk about some hardware that we've seen around, and bear in mind that MeetMobility, we deal with mobile computing rather than voice type stuff. We talk about the space between 4 and 10 inches, which is actually becoming quite an interesting area recently with the talk of the iPad. So we're actually going to talk about the Dell Mini 5, and I want to pick that one up first, and that was at the Pepcom event on Monday evening. Who saw that? Have you seen the Dell Mini 5, Monty? Hubert, have you seen the Dell Mini 5? All right, because I just want to know where to direct the questions first. Sascha, give us a quick rundown on the Dell Mini 5, because that's an interesting one.
Dell Mini 5 was a kind of rumor for a couple of weeks and months, right? That Dell is working on a MID or tablet. It's actually a 5-inch system, right?
Yep.
I guess that's why it's called Dell Mini 5. So it's running on a Snapdragon 1 gigahertz platform. And it reminded me a little bit of the Arcos 5 that is already around for quite a while. But in terms of build quality, in terms of GUI, I think it's way advanced from what we saw from Arcos so far.
Yeah, where the Arcos 5 is more of a home-based device, a Wi-Fi device, the Dell Mini 5 introduces the 3G to it, so it makes it mobile. So it also has the full Google app suite on it, so everything from Google is on there in terms of Android Marketplace. So this is kind of nice, interesting device that fits into the sort of PMP market, high-end web browsing, audio, that sort of stuff, and it's got a 5-megapixel camera in it as well.
Oh yeah, well actually it has 2 cameras. So there's a camera on the back and a camera on the front, so you can even do video conferencing with it.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing we got out of Dell from that was that they are going to make a family of these devices. So does that mean we'll see a Mini 7 and a Mini... Well, we can't have a Mini 9.
We already had the Mini 9, which was their first netbook.
Which was the netbook, so it would be interesting to see if they actually move up the range. But what's really going to be interesting is to see if people actually try and use these as phones or have them as secondary devices.
I mean, you can easily get a Google Talk or Google Voice or Skype on it, right?
Yeah.
So and then you can use it as a phone. And they're aiming for the telcos. This will be their main channel, getting it with a 3G contract into the market. So I'm pretty sure Dell is pretty all right with this, and they're getting Skype on it.
Yeah, and it will also be available without 3G and through the Dell store as well.
Yeah.
So let's hope that's global. Pricing is going to be an issue on this one.
Oh,
if
absolutely.
it's $600 with 3G, then it's going to be a problem.
Oh,
if it's,
no, it must be sub 500, even I would say sub 400 to be competitive. The Arcos 5, the main competitor, is starting at $299.
That's starting at $230 now.
$230.
The 8 gig version.
So and these are their competitors, and they're already pretty stable, pretty well positioned on this market.
Yeah.
So and that's where Dell is aiming at. And so yeah, it needs to be sub 400 or sub 300 there.
Yeah. Hubert, what do you think of the Dell Mini 5?
Well, I've seen it from far away, but I think that that market is going to be competitive pretty quickly, and I would be very surprised if a lot of people actually use it as a phone. I mean, some people like the two of you will do it, but I don't think that it will be a mainstream phone. It's an interesting device.
Yeah, so that's two devices we've had in that tweener segment now between 5 and 10-inch devices that people say is really not going to happen. Apple and Dell, two big companies. So hopefully this is going to stir up the whole market there in between 4 and 10 inches, and we'll see a lot more stuff in 2010.
Well, what I'd like to see is the usage model. So with Apple, it's pretty clear what people can or cannot do with it. For the PC guys, it's a little less clear how people are going to use the tablets. So I'd like to see that, and then we'll see how it will sell.
That's right, and I think pricing will play a big part there. When as the pricing comes down, the amount of justification needed personally is much less. And when you reach $299, you really need very little at all to go and buy a secondary device, especially when you're buying navigation devices at $300, $200, ebook readers at $500, and those sort of things as well. So it becomes a gadget that you can buy if the price comes down.
It's like the Nintendo Wii. You know, it's so cheap you don't know why you'll buy it, but you'll buy it anyway.
Yeah, I bought my Xbox with a sprig of parsley in a supermarket in England Christmas last year. Parsley, Xbox. That's how you buy these devices when they get so cheap. The other device I want to talk about is the Compaq AirLife 100, which is the Android-based smart book. We've seen.
Can we say that? There are no lawyers from this German company.
Two separate words, smart space book. And so there are a couple of Android netbooks out there, but this is actually one of the first we've seen that's been really well developed in terms of software. They've actually taken Android and made it usable in this sort of netbook scenario. Sorry, Sascha, what's your opinion on that? Because you're really focused on netbooks.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to have an impact on the netbook market?
Well, it's a matter of the price. I think it's a very appealing device, and we saw it already in a very early stage during CES. So basically what they did, taking the case or enclosure of one of their most successful netbooks, the HP Mini 100, making it a little bit slimmer. It's running on Snapdragon again from Qualcomm, and it offers you some 12 hours of battery life. And I'm pretty sure it's not only about 12 hours of battery life without connectivity. So we can even see 12 hours of battery life with 3G on these devices. The question is where HP and Compaq are going to position this device, because netbooks already with Intel Atom Pine Trail are starting at $249 or $259. So this niche market for smart books and for Qualcomm, it's getting very, very, very narrow in terms of pricing.
In terms of pricing, yeah.
And you also have to keep in mind that one of the main operating system on netbooks is Windows right now. People are using these devices as a content producing device, and they're familiar with the operating system. So this is something that the non-x86 platforms from Qualcomm can't provide you right now. So the question is, if this is aiming at the consumer market, do they really see it more as a netbook or maybe just as a smartphone or mobile internet device, where it doesn't matter so much if you have Windows or a Symbian or whatever? But for netbooks, it's still very crucial that they're getting the same experience they know from all the other platforms. So if they can sell it for, let's say, under $200, it will be a success. I'm pretty sure about this. But I still think together with 3G and without any contract, they can go up to 250 or even 299.